There's nothing like Minnesota high school football. Football nights are special. It's about the players, the fans, let's go! The communities. Prep Preview is here to set the stage each week. Dig into the key rivalries, the unique stories, the players to watch, and break down what it all means. The CARE TV Prep Preview on YouTube starts now. Hi everybody, thanks for joining us. A big week for Minnesota high school football fans. This is Prep Preview on YouTube, week number 3 of the season. Randy Shaver along with Craig Norkus, who happened to wear a collared shirt this week. We're appreciative of that.
You've been bugging me all year for the collared shirt.
We are covering high school football for the games played on September 14th, 15th, and 16th. There are some outstanding matchups this week, and we're excited to break it all down for you. What's going on? Yes?
I'm practicing.
For?
I found a new job that I want part-time.
What's that?
I went to the Vikings game on Sunday.
Commercial timeout?
Yes, the orange glove guy. There's a guy that stands on the sideline. His only job is to signal the ref with an orange glove that they're out of the commercial timeout.
Here's the sad part of that.
You sit there and watch the game and you get to...
Here's the sad part. There's no commercials in this show. So,
well,
no,
I'm just
not
practicing.
high-fiving you.
I'm just practicing.
Put that away.
Do you know what? If nothing sticks to Teflon, how do they get the pan to stick to the Teflon? Because ultimately the pan is there. If you put the Teflon on it, how does the pan stick to the Teflon? We're going to call it time
Shut
out.
your mouth and put the glove back on.
Speaking of sticks, Mankato West stuck it to me, which we're going to get to in a minute.
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk about something else first.
Let's do that. Last week, 3 defending state champions all lost. Maple Grove in 6A, Elk River in 5A, Simile in 4A. Now, I'm a voting member for the Associated Press when it comes to high school football in Minnesota. The first 40 years, thank you. The first rankings came out on Monday, and it sets up our spotlight game perfectly. It's the Battle of Lakeville on Friday night. Number 2 rated Lakeville South, number 3 rated Lakeville North in Class 6A, both unbeaten. And I had a chance to talk with the head coaches, Brian Vossen and Ben Burke.
A couple of good ones.
About the unique matchup.
This community loves its sports. It loves its football. There's a rich tradition of football, dating all the way back to when it was just Lakeville High School. So neither school ever has a hard time filling their stands on a Friday night.
The benefit of having the program just up the road that is excelling and being really good, it makes you have to be really good. I wouldn't have it any other way, where we have a team right down the street who's as competitive and physical.
Playing this game early really gives you an opportunity to see what type of team you are. I'm a defensive guy, and I believe Burke is more of an offensive guy. So that alone presents the challenge. But it's going to be a very, very physical game. I think both teams on the line of scrimmage have really dominated in their last 2 weeks. And so it's going to be, it's going to wear both teams down.
There's a lot of plays in a football game, but there's usually 10 or 12 plays that really decide the way it goes. And so you're preaching to your kids all week that those are the ones we got to control, and discipline and toughness and all of that goes into that too. People talk about it's not who you play, it's when you play. There's some truth in that, but I think this is the kind of matchup where we want to see our best against their best and put it all out there. Coach Voss and I get to sit on the front porch of really good programs that have had a lot of success, and it's built, in my opinion, on the back of our community and all the support that they pour into it.
For a game like this, what I honestly hope is I hope that our kids go out and they take a moment to just stop and appreciate how many people are there and cheering for them, and not let the pressure of one football game get to be too much for them. Because at the end of the day, I'll tell you right now, I'll lose every North-South game the rest of my life if I can just win prep bowls. And I would venture to guess that Ben Burke would feel the same way. So this is one game, and it is exciting for kids, but we have much bigger things that we want to accomplish this season with this group. This is just another test. It's a great test with a great community, and I hope we get the best of our kids when they get there. I promise you, Ben, you will get our best.
So that sets the stage for Friday night, our spotlight game, Lakeville South at Lakeville North. It's a 7 o'clock start. We'll have full highlights on KARE at 10:15. Then, of course, on cable and YouTube and KARE11.com and KARE11 Plus at 11 o'clock on Friday night.
I love listening to both these coaches. I mean, how about Coach Burke? When this quote of the year, like, Coach Voss and I get to sit on the front porch of really good programs built on the back of the community. Like that just sums it up. It's like humbleizing, humanizing. But I think it's important to recognize the school district of Lakeville is responsible for 3 of the last 5 state 6A titles, if you count the 2020 COVID-shortened year when Lakeville South was voted as number 1. So 3 of the last 5 for Lakeville schools, North in 2018.
Now, South has dominated this series. They've won the last 4 games. In fact, the last 2 have been by shutout, 34-0 and 12-0. So we'll see what transpires on Friday night. Craig will be there to cover the game. All right, so let's run down the rankings that came out on Monday for Class 6A. And we start with Eden Prairie. They receive 8 first-place votes, including from me. Then South, North, and Shakopee. They all received 1 first-place vote this week. Minnetonka's unbeaten. Centennial will travel to Maple Grove on Thursday night. And keep an eye out on Forest Lake. They're pretty good.
Well, I like Centennial a lot this year, and I'm glad they're getting respect at number 6. They put up 93 points so far. And yes, Forest Lake, an impressive bounce back after that 1-point heartbreaking loss to Prior Lake, then beating a very good Eastridge team with an all-Metro quarterback.
And they play Mounds View at home on Friday night, so that'll be a great game. Here's the 5A rankings that came out. 9 first-place votes for Mankato West, including from me. Chan receives 1 first-place vote, as does Brainerd, who opened the season with wins over Matamidi and Elk River. Pretty impressive.
I have no current comment on the 5A rankings because I'm still taking the splinters out of my mouth. As we'll see in the next segment, if you've ever flossed with a 2x4 or if you've ever eaten a glass vase shard by shard, that's what my mouth feels like right now.
All right, so let's get to it. Mankato West at Andover was our spotlight game last Friday.
And they got a dog pound. They had a playoff crowd type atmosphere there. It was incredible. Reminiscent of the Cleveland dog pound. Great active crowd.
Great.
So, you know, Andover's got Chase Pemberton. He's a pretty good QB. 77-yard touchdown pass, perfect accuracy. Cameron Bagali right here, and it's going to be 7-0 Huskies. But you know what? This Pemberton kid, he can run too. Check out this run. 44 yards. He's going to get down to the 20-yard line. He's going to take a shot here down at the 20. Pretty big hit.
Yes.
Next play, Pemberton, a 20-yard TD pass. Great catch in the back of the end zone by Bagali. They made it 14-7 Andover, but bad news.
He broke his collarbone.
I saw Pemberton on the sideline. Yep.
Broke his collarbone.
Non-throwing shoulder in a sling. He was out of the game. Disappointment for Andover for sure. But you know what? Mankato West has got a great quarterback too. Bart Makinich. 55-yard touchdown pass, Brody Koborowski. It's 14-14 after this play. Knotted up. We go in the second quarter now. Mankato West, 4th and 1. They run this jumbo formation a lot. Look at that. I don't know how we got through there. Makinich got speed too, 38 yards, 21-14 now. We go to the third quarter. Makinich, a nice kind of scramble, little dump-off pass, again to Koborowski, 20 yards.
They're loaded.
That made it 28-21, Yep. Now, 4th and 2. This is the same exact play.
Yes.
Jumbo, I don't know how he squeezes through there, but Makinich, you know, he impressed me a lot. That was 47 yards to the house. Mankato West wins this 35-21.
So after the game, why were they reluctant to talk to Craig Norkus? I don't understand.
Well, there was a certain kind of chippiness in the Mankato West players towards me, and a lot of them were yelling, we're number 1, we should be in the state championship, towards my camera, kind of at me, which didn't at first seem anything out of the ordinary because I experienced that a lot. It wasn't until I talked to J.J. Helgett, who is the Mankato West coach, that I kind of figured out what was going on. And so first, I'm going to show you some clips of me on last week's show talking about how it should have been Andover in the state championship last year.
Oh, boy.
When you talk about Andover, to me last year, when they played Elk River in the sectional final, that should have been the state championship, in my opinion. Right. Those were the 2 best teams.
We show up. Everyone doubts us. I told you that.
And Andover
Mankato West would argue with you.
They'll argue, but
real state champions over there. They should have been in the state championship game. I call bull.
So I have Andover as my number 2 team in 5A this year. My number 1 team we're going to talk about shortly. That's Chanhassen.
Okay. Well, Mankato West obviously will argue with that as well.
Yes,
so
they will.
We will see what happens.
They can prove it to me this Friday.
They should have been in the state championship game. I call bull.
I call bull.
So
I wonder who he's talking about
I want to first congratulate Mankato West on I called you out to prove it to me, and you did.
Oh my God.
And I want to thank Coach Helget for being transparent with me because he said, Craig, thank you. Your comments gave my team a chip on their shoulder all week. They were jacked up to play this game.
God.
It was bulletin board material.
Yes, it was.
It was whiteboard arsenal, and they made it count. Okay, you impressed me.
Is there somebody you'd like to slight this week to get them fired up?
I'm still getting the shards out of my mouth first. Let me clean up that, and we'll discuss it.
Well,
But
great job handling it. That was good.
Congratulations.
Mankato West, by the way, plays at Waconia on Friday night, Tackle Cancer Night at Waconia. Andover's also on the road this week. They're at Cambridge Isanti. Big matchup this week in Class 4A. Hutchinson at Totino Grace. The first meeting ever in the regular season between these two football programs, and first game between them since the Class 4A state quarterfinal game played in 2005. Wow. They're ranked number 1 and number 3 respectively this week. Hutch receives 8 first place votes. The Eagles receive 1. They've met 4 times in their history. They have split those 4 games, including Totino winning the 2003 title game. Now, Hutch coach Andy Rosberg sent me a note this week saying, our kids are crazy excited for this opportunity. We need to be close to perfect to hang with them. They have talent at every position.
What's cool about this is we're talking about the last matchups from these two teams being state playoff games like 20 years ago. And now it's a regular season game, which is kind of the theme we're going to get to. These regular season games have been incredible.
Yeah, the schedule changes have really sparked a lot of interest in high school football. I had a chance to talk with Totino Grace head coach Jay Anderson this week about what he expects Friday night. And he can, at least he tells me, he can identify with Hutch football.
You know, I grew up in a small town. I love small town football. They are a typical small town football program with a lot of really talented kids, great coaching. They know who they are. They're gonna pound it at you. They're gonna play great defense and try to wear you down. So they're a very, very good football team. Yeah.
Has it changed that much? Are you still getting those kind of players that are, I guess, synonymous with Totino football?
Yeah, you know, I think that, you know, every year is different. And, you know, all the coaches will say that, you know, you get, you know, new groups of kids in and some kids leave. And, but what we try to do is keep up the tradition that's been, you know, kept all the way back from when Dave Nigel was running it back in the 70s. And still trying to emphasize all of those values that we want these young men to have.
What kind of game do you expect against Hutchinson? How would you describe what you think the game will be like?
I think it's going to be a great one. And I think we're going to find out where we're at real soon. And I think they are the top of our class in the state of Minnesota. Well, from what I've seen them, they're very they're very, very physical. It's going to be a fun, hard, and challenging game for our kids, but one in which we're actually going to learn a lot about ourselves. So.
Remember, Totino Grace dropping from 6A to 4A this year. This is Anton Cadillac. He's the offensive lineman for Hutchinson, 6'3", 310. You talk about physical, this is what Totino is going to be facing on Friday night. He's being recruited, but no commitment as yet.
Yeah, well, he is super seismically striking at that 310, but that is like the prototypical Hutch player, right? They love to be big and beefy in the trenches.
And they are going to run the football. So it's going to be a fun matchup. It's at Totino Grace, 7 o'clock on Friday night. Now, moving down 2 classes to moving up from 5A to 6A by just a few students. Rochester Mayo is in the big class for the next 2 seasons. And so far, kind of mixed reviews. Maybe a win over Burnsville, come from behind, and then a loss to Egan last week, 40-14.
Talk about meat, though, but the meat of their schedule is coming soon with Lakeville South, Lakeville North, and Eden Prairie in back-to-back-to-back weeks. Oh, by the way, those are the current rankings of the number 1, number 2, and number 3 teams in the state.
So
that is meaty.
So Donnie Holcomb, welcome to 6A football. Welcome. I had a chance to talk to Donnie this week. What do you feel like the biggest challenge is for you going forward now in this 6A schedule?
I think the biggest challenge compared to other years is staying healthy. You know, I know everybody says that, but I think more than not at 6A, you really gotta have those guys healthy. We depend on a bunch of people to go both ways, depending on how many plays a game that is. But I would say staying healthy and then just staying competitive and not ever overlooking an opponent or thinking we know who they are, coming out every single game and treating it like a playoff.
When the schedule came out, did you like circle a game that you thought, oh man, this is going to be fun to play a team like this?
Yeah, I mean, not really. It's the challenge of week in and week out playing these new teams. I mean, obviously we know Rosemont, Lakeville North, South, Eden Prairie, and Eastridge are along with the other teams, but they're ones that, everybody says are the top dogs. So I know we're looking forward to just seeing how we stack up against them and again, how the kids compete, because in the end, they're all 15, 16, 17, maybe an 18-year-old. I mean, it's not college, it's not the pros. So a lot of it's a mentality, even if some guys are bigger or look bigger.
Yeah. So it is a challenge. There's no doubt.
Jumping into the deep end.
Yeah. Going from 5A to 6A, even though they're a very good 5A football team, and they're a very good football team, period. But
this is litmus.
Yeah. No doubt, no doubt. But we're 2 weeks into the football season, which is a good time, I think, to talk about where the game is heading. Craig and I both agree. The schedule changes, and we've talked about it a lot, made in the offseason, have fueled a lot of fun, exciting matchups so far, and there's more to come with this,
It's been as exciting of a beginning of the year as I can remember because of some of these matchups, and kind of the common theme we're seeing in these big games in all the classes is the coaches are saying this really gives us an opportunity to see where we are early in the season.
Right. And credit the State High School League and the people that got involved in changing these schedules. Bob Madison is the man in charge of prep football at the State High School League, and I sat down with Bob to talk about the game we both love and how to keep it moving in the right direction. What do you think is the biggest challenge that high school football players in Minnesota face right now?
I think it's specialization. I think student athletes feeling like they don't have time to play any sport or activity is a challenge. And educating our families, educating our student athletes that there is time. And the number of student athletes that go play college, anything, or professional anything hasn't changed, right? So to feel as though you have to specialize in any one sport may not be a reality. Yeah, high school football in Minnesota is in a really good position. We're adding teams. Our numbers are healthy. We're over 22,000. But that's coming off of, I would say, in the last 10 years, there was a decrease. And I think something like specialization and concerns about risk and where we're at with a collision sport like football. But boy, we have great adults in the lives of our young men and young women who play this game. And there's an appetite for football. We learned that coming out of COVID. And we're gonna continue to minimize risk in the game. I don't think it's ever been safer, Randy, right? And I think our data will show that.
There are more girls playing high school football in Minnesota. I think people would be shocked at the number.
Yeah, 169 last year is the official number. Now that's 9 through 12, right? Grades 9 through 12. Girls playing high school football. I would also say flag football is a growing option out there nationwide. So we have to keep an eye on that for for the future of our female athletes as well. I'm worried about sustainability of our coaches. They are pressed, right, for time, and they have more expectations than ever in the classroom and school, and rightfully so. But are they going to cut out time to make sure that they're able to coach? But turnover in head football coaches, I would say, would be not a good symptom to have, right? So we want to make sure that it's a job and working with our schools that they value, and that they make it, that they incentivize it as well. Because we know what happens when we don't have officials. What are we going to do if we don't have qualified head coaches to coach this great game? It's practice for life. Most of them won't do this or play this great game the day after they graduate. But they're going to take those skills and transfer them into something in life that's going to allow them to be successful. And that's what excites me. It's why we still do this job. It's why I get have a hard time sleeping, on Sunday night before we start fall sports, because those young people deserve this, and we need more opportunities for our young people to be successful and to show what they can do, and society will be better for it.
Always a pleasure to talk to Bob Madison for the State High School League. Here are some of the matchups on Friday night that we have circled on our calendar. Hutch and Totino, Cretin and St. Thomas being played at TCO Stadium. Eastridge, Stillwater. Battle of great quarterbacks in that one with Tanner Zolnowski against the sophomore Nick Kinsey. And of course, Simley, the defending champs at Fridley. Anoka's got a great quarterback, and Peyton Podani. He's at Blaine. He leads the state in passing yards. And Orono against the SMB Wolfpack, and it gives us a chance to take a look at the edge rusher, not just a tough player, but a smart player, Trent Page.
Going into the season last year, I was weighing about 230 pounds. And right now I'm at a cool 245 right now. I'm going to see where I'm going to play at this season. But I think that overall, I'm more dynamic, I'm more explosive. I'm definitely more versatile. I think that's one of my best strengths as a player. I like to play anywhere from a 7-3 tech and dominate all those positions. So yeah, just every play having an opportunity to dominate. Just beating the guy across from me, and I'm just doing my thing. You know what I'm saying? I got some God-given abilities that really help me to just go crazy out there in that field, and love to do it. So I'd say this offseason primarily it's been me focusing on my explosiveness and my pen. Just being able to be even more versatile for my team, and then just learning some new terminology. We got a new defensive coordinator this year that's going to be, helping us with some things. And hey, I'm super excited to be out there this season. So.
A little bit of a caveat with Trent. He had a hamstring injury prior to game number 2, missed that game. I talked to Hugh Brown, the head coach. He says, yeah, he'll be back. 80% chance he'll be back this Friday. And they play a very good Orono football team on Friday night. 5 o'clock start, by the way, for that game.
We talked to Trent Page over the summer, and one of the quotes that I really loved, he said, I want to be the mad scientist of techniques. Whether it's 3 technique, 5 technique, 7 technique, 11 technique, 21 technique, 61. Mad scientist of techniques. He's also a smart guy, wants to be a Supreme Court justice.
He's going to Yale.
And you know what his nickname is?
No.
He says, I'm Batman.
Batman. Well, we'll get a chance to see Batman on Friday. All right, let's run down the rankings for the rest of the classes. Put out this week by the Associated Press. Class 3A, Dassel-Cokato is the first #1 team. Now, DC was on all 11 ballots this week by the voters. 9 of them had them ranked 3rd or higher, which is why you see them at #1, despite only 2 first-place votes this week. Esco is #2, Stewartville #3. Lots of representation from the Wright County with DC, Watertown Mayor, and Annandale.
Esco picks up where they left off last year. They are fond of amassing points. They've scored 63 and 73 in weeks 1 and 2.
Class 2A rankings tied for #1 this week. Barnesville and Caledonia. Chatfield is in the mix. St. Agnes received 1 first-place vote. They're ranked #7 this week.
We should clarify that the 1 first-place vote from St. Agnes came from one of the moms in the program.
No, that's not true.
I'm just kidding. Give me the glove. I got to have time
slap
out.
yourself with the glove. Class 1A, Minneota is the #1 team, 4 first-place votes. The pollsters, though, think that 1A is wide open. Bold, Springfield, Fillmore Central receiving 2 first-place votes apiece. Even Goodhue gets a first-place vote, ranked #8 overall.
That is wide open because you got 5 teams getting first-place votes. What about 9-man?
9-man, here we go. Mountain Iron Buell, the defending state champs, 6 first-place votes this week. Spring Grove and Fertile Beltrami in the top 3. It should be a battle this year in 9-man football, for sure.
Our colleague George Marinsol is a huge Mountain Iron fan, so he's got to be really happy that they remain on top.
They are #1. All right, let's check out this week's Hot Highlights.
Hot Highlights is sponsored by TrueStone Financial.
Here is Hot Highlight #1, diving touchdown catch by Stillwater's Joe Hoheisel. Great snag in the end zone from quarterback Nick Kinsey. That is Hot Highlight #1.
Hot highlight #2 is a big-time kickoff return for a touchdown. I get another kickoff return on these highlights.
We had 3 of them last week.
Aiden Forsgren. He covers 94 yards as Forsgren turns on the Jets, take it to the house. Great play. That's hot highlight number 2.
And he's from Lakeville North.
I'll see him this Friday.
On Friday. And then hot highlight number 3. Watch this. Tip pass. Charlie Jacobson makes the catch for Woodbury and takes it for a touchdown. We've got a replay slow-mo of it. The ball actually hits off Jacobson's face mask and then somehow makes the catch.
Wow.
And scores the touchdown.
That one's going to be tough.
Highlight number 3. The rest is up to you.
Yep.
Go to KARE11.com. You have until 3 o'clock this Friday to vote, and I'll announce the winner during the Prep Sports Extra at 10:15 on KARE Friday night. There's some outstanding matchups on Thursday night this week because of Rosh Hashanah and the referee shortage. Eden Prairie's at Prior Lake. Centennial is at Maple Grove, but I've circled Rogers and Irondale because it will feature the top 2 football recruits in Minnesota. Wyatt Gilmore of Rogers, defensive end, Emerson Mandel, the big offensive lineman from Irondale. Now, Gilmore's going to Oklahoma to play college football. Mandel is going to Wisconsin.
And I will be going to this game Thursday to get a studious stare at the Gilmore versus Mandel matchup. But also, I want to take a closer look at the running back, Rogers Calvin Isle.
Right.
He's currently 2nd in the state in rushing. He's got 51 carries for 421 yards. That's 8 yards a carry. So
through the first 2 games.
Yeah, 2 games.
Which is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
All right, I talked with Wyatt Gilmore about his approach to getting to that quarterback.
I mean, it goes so fast. Like, it's just awesome. And then you make the hit. And one thing that I always do is I go for the ball every single time. And that's one of the things that, like, the coach really like about me is how I always go for the ball. I've been working on my get off a lot. And a good first step, that's one of the biggest things. And just knowing the moves and just perfecting them and just active hands and strong hands. I think a lot of it has to do with the strength, but it's also a big mental part to it. Because, like, it's honestly like playing chess, being an edge rusher, because you have to set up moves. You'll have to go to the outside a lot, and then once you start beating them around the edge, you got to cut inside because they overset.
When was the last time you worked on your get off? It's been years.
Maybe for you, it's got to be decades.
Here's some of the matchups on Thursday night. Rogers at Irondale, number 5 Minnetonka's at Edina. Wayzata plays at number 4 Shakopee, number 1 Eden Prairie at Prior Lake, and Centennial, as we said on Thursday night. This game, by the way, was just changed back in August to a Thursday night game. It was originally scheduled for Friday. Armstrong is hosting Cooper on Thursday night, Battle of Unbeatens, and we get a chance to see this guy, Langdon College. He's morphed from a safety his sophomore year to an outside linebacker edge, and he's a big-time player, headed to North Dakota to play college football next fall. And I had a chance to talk with the Armstrong head coach, Jack Niggin, about his Division I player.
He's something else. I say, if you ever seen the movie Rocky IV, right, he reminds me of the Ivan Drago. He's just this huge guy, and he keeps getting bigger, and he's really turning out to be a great leader for us. You know, 6'4" and 230 pounds, and runs really fast, right? That's pretty exciting too. But no, he's just he's an interesting kid in the way he's developed. As a 9th grader, he was a receiver, free safety for us, right? Just kind of this tall, gangly kid. And as a sophomore, we weren't sure where to play him, and so we played him a little bit outside linebacker, little defensive end, and then last year we put his hand in the ground and he took off, and he's really good there, and we still aren't sure where to play him. So we are going to do some different things with him this year, and he can stand up and he can run and he could get after the passer, and so he's kind of a unique guy, and we still haven't figured out where to play him, but we just know we're going to play him.
Well, so they're going to play him, that's for sure.
With Coach Niggin comparing him to Ivan Drago with Rocky IV, the interesting thing is, had he compared him to Rocky III, the villain is Clubber Lang. Remember Mr. T? So it was Clubber Lang. So if we use the Rocky III comparison, it would have been Langdon College could have been Clubber Langdon.
Oh my gosh.
So
tried saying that
both
3
work
times
though.
Fast.
Clubber Lang, Ivan Drago, Clubber Langdon.
Good luck to those guys on Thursday night. All right, let's check out some Saturday games. Yeah, there are some Saturday games, including one at TCO Stadium on Saturday night when Two Rivers High School takes on Harding Humboldt. That game is a 7 o'clock start at the Vikings facility. All right, now it's time for our Weeble of the Week winner.
So last week we didn't have one. We had to go, unfortunately, to an incident.
To the
that occurred.
archives,
Yeah, we had to go
yes.
to the retro archives, which we don't want to have to do that again.
No.
I appreciate a lot of people stepped up saying, oh, we had a Weeble, and we don't have a camera at every minute of every game, but I appreciate Chris Hughesby, special teams coach from Maple Grove, sent me a clip that I'll hold on to and maybe appear at some point.
Sure.
But this week, we do have a wonderful, willing Weeble winner.
Oh, Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down.
So when you got to stay upright as a player to earn the Weeble reward, it's equivalent to the riches of a factory from Willy Wonka. This week's eager earner of the prize comes from Minnetonka.
Hey, look at me and Weeble.
So standing 6'2", 185 pounds, the most upright of the uprighteous this week is Joran Thompson, wide receiver. He's a senior with Minnetonka. We're going to see why he gets Weeble of the Week. He's going to be to the right of the screen, number 5. He's going to catch a pass. Let's watch him.
Yep.
He's going to make a nifty move here.
Oh.
Look at that move, and then a gaggle of guys is required to bring him down. Now, we're going to look at this again. There's a moment where both feet are off the ground.
Oh my gosh,
but it's the move. It's the move next is why he earns Weeble of the Week. Let's look at this move.
The step over.
It's a combination of Pilates, a pirouette, and a karate kick. But I want to analyze this a little bit more.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah.
How much more detail
Well,
can you go into?
We're going to watch this again because I want to. So this karate kick, Pilates pirouette, which I'm going to call a karatet, that's what earns the award, because when you do a karatet on the field, you're Weeble of the Week. So congratulations, Joran Thompson of Minnetonka.
All right, very good. All right, are we done now? Put your glove back on and wave goodbye to everybody. That's it for our show. Reminder, Prep Sports Extra, 10:15 on CARE, 11 o'clock on cable, YouTube, and CARE 11.
Hey, you're not live on Friday. Is it because we're in the 60s? Is it too cold?
No. It's warm, but we just have other things going on.
Okay.
So you'll be there by yourself. You'll be fine. They'll treat you nice in Lakeville. I know they will. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next Wednesday.